I know I am a bit late, but To Be Hero X is anime of the year for me, no debate. But instead of a full-on review, I'm thinking I will just rank the best heroes in the story. Look, the ranking won't be purely on strength, but on who I like the most. So strength can play a factor, but it won't be the sole reason for someone being number one. Also at the end, I will talk about my thoughts on the show. With that being said, let's rank. I'm going to be ranking 11 heroes, with number 11 being Dragon Boy. I just don't like the dude, man. His power is cool, I guess. He takes plenty of hits. His resilience is top notch. That's really what his power is. Whatever he takes, he can dish it back tenfold. I know he went through abuse and suffered a ton of pain because of his parents. I feel a bit bad because of that, but screw it, man. I still despise him. Solid aesthetic, I like his design, but no. Number 10, I have Iso, or Cheng Yang. This dude is such a hoe, bro. I really liked his character at first because, as we all know, he was just playing Isol in kids plays, because the reason he did this is because he really looked up to Isol, because as a child he was saved by him. You could argue he gave him a reason to live. His parents were gone and Isol's would cause him to keep going. But as we know, in this world, the hero world thrives on trust value. Cheng Yang, although he was manipulated and coerced by others, took the title of Isol from the original and fought and killed him. I thought that he was a really good character and relatable, especially with his relationships with King Ja. But no, brother, I love Super Speed 2. It's a shame it was wasted on this fraud. Number 9, I have Nice. Not Lin Ling, but the actual Nice. Listen, I know he did some questionable things, I understand, but he was a really good guy, bro. And he recognized at times that he did things that were pretty bad. You can tell that he had tons of regret, either before or after these actions. As a kid, he wanted to be a hero, and he even looked up to Smile. But growing up, he realized being a hero wasn't all it was cracked up to be. I think he is the most realistic character in the show. And his powers and costume are basic, but it works. I'm surprised he never was ranked higher as a hero. And also, my dog can box. I've seen it on multiple occasions. I don't care what happened in the end. That was a Mickey ending with Lolly. He was tearing her up, dog. Okay, number 8, I have Ahu. I love the dog, but he just so happened to fall here. His origins were cool, I suppose. He started in a circus. I wasn't really feeling the episode at first because the episode previously was the episode we got introduced to X, right? That was kind of unfair to have him be the episode right after that. But surprisingly, the show made me care for him. His relationship with Xenia was way better than I was expecting. It is just heartwarming to me that her goal to make him a hero worked out in the end. He hated humans at first, but Shin changed his tune on that. And honestly, I don't know what his abilities are per se. I know he can just actually talk now, and he has the powers of like every hero, which is like super strength, right? Well, beyond normal strength. Okay, number 7, Little Johnny and Big Johnny. I'm gonna count them together. It's funny because when I first was introduced to him, I said, this guy is really lame. He is probably going to be the worst in the show. Like, what do you mean your pet is named Big Johnny when your name is Little Johnny, bro? And why do you call him your son? I think we all first saw him in the Queen and Lucky Cyan episodes, then in Ghost Blades, but then we got his backstory. It made me change my tune on him. He is such a good character. He lost his mom at an early age and his dad not too long afterwards, but he learned a great deal from them both. And the quote from his mom, dude, sorrow can't heal wounds nor miraculously bring back the dead, but it allowed us to remember what our hearts truly valued, truly needed. So when it's time to cry, we must cry loudly, but after crying, we mustn't forget what makes hope go on in this power of a smile. Dog, that hit me in my soul. Big Johnny is super OP, but man, Little Johnny has work to do for sure. He has to grow a lot by next season. He did say he plans to train with Cyan and Queen, so. Okay, number 6, my friend is gonna tell me I told you so, but I have a Lolly. She once upon a time was my lowest ranked hero, but my friend kept telling me to keep watching and keep watching, and she's gonna go up eventually for you. You were right, man. I will admit it. I will say, I always respected Lolly and the fact that out of all the characters on this list, she is probably the one who relies the least on trust. She is ranked high because of the people, of course, but this all started because she made up her own suit to become a hero, to not need help from anybody else. Seeing the revolution of female heroes inspired her, but she was seen as too cute by others. This suit covered the fact that she was cute looking. She was always headstrong. Although she was smart, she acts without thinking a lot of the time. But when things get dire, she tries to protect people that she cares about, no matter how strong the opposition, and I commend her for that, like with Nice, for example. At number 5, I have Ghostblade. I love this dude a lot, bro. I'm unsure with how fans really view him, but I really like his story. The public viewed him as really cool while he was struggling with reuniting with his family, right? He had zero ability to speak, and it was based on how the public viewed him. Trust values are very powerful, and they aren't great for everyone, with him being a huge example. He grew up around a loud environment which caused him to be quiet compared to everyone else. His silence makes him the perfect assassin. He has sauce, of course, too. The cape, the gold mask. Come on, dog. My one thing with Ghostblade that hurts me is that for the longest time he had to go along with what the agency said, which involves getting his hands dirty. He did kill little Johnny's dad, which really sucked, but he just, like many of the other heroes in the show, are used as pawns. With that being said, I still really love this story with his daughter. He is just trying to make peace with that, and he is a really good dude. Okay, number 4. I had a real hard time deciding with this one, and number 3, we got Lucky Cyan. Once again, I really liked her origin story, and she honestly has probably my favorite design in the show. She has been lucky from a young age, and because of that, she has been taken advantage of. She was always obedient and loyal to the adults at the orphanage and never really thought about herself until she made a friend. That caused her to get out of her shell and make a name for herself. She got confidence, courage, eventually becoming a hero. Her main power is most definitely luck, and the way she got that power is actually so amazing to me. You know, the scandal which caused the public to lose faith in her when she was a hero. The plane crash she was on, every passenger gave her prayers in exchange for their lives so that she could go on and live. But back to her power, she can imbue luck into items, she can make barriers, she even has a guitar that can turn into a bow. She also is an amazing singer, of course. I fell in love with her character, and for the longest time she was number 2, now number 3. It may surprise some people, but it's Lin Ling. He was the very first main character, so of course there's some lingering attachment there. He started as a simple employee at an advertising agency, and we all know he assumed the identity as Nice, following the true Nice's demise. But he eventually comes into his own and becomes a hero on his own, showing that truly anyone can become a hero, which is the theme of the show. He is a genuinely nice person. No pun intended. He got his trust value from just being a good guy though, bro. I really liked his relationship with Moon as well. It was really great. He's my first main character from this show, so I'm always gonna love him. Number 2, my girl, bro. She was number 1 for the longest time, but I have Queen. She is the pinnacle of female superheroes. She started for all of them. She put them on the map. She has a very strong sense of passion and desire to become X, to change the hero system from its corrupt ways. In the beginning, she thinks that trusting in herself is more important than others, and it somewhat stays that way throughout. Like I said, she has a strong sense of passion, she has a strong sense of justice, and it's all driven on the fact that she wants to make a new era. She in the beginning was seen as cold and even a loner, but we see when she met Johnny, she did in fact want people to care for her, even if she didn't show it. Johnny and Cyan's relationship with her is great because I do think that Queen really needed that. She had her father, sure, but everything in her life was very serious. It had to be really tiring and stressful to carry that responsibility and expectations of everyone on her shoulders as the top-ranking female hero. Being around Cyan and Johnny got her to open her mind and heart to others, but she is also OP, brother. Her ability is apparently called the Law of Things. She can create a barrier and change the rules of operation of things inside said barrier. Anybody who is in this barrier has to abide by her rules by saying stop, or kneel for example. And she has other abilities too. I remember in one of her fights, she brought down golden energy spears, and that is deadly, bro. She'll be number 1 in any other show, but we all know who number 1 is. I know I gave everyone like some big spiel about how they are as people, but let's be honest, for X it isn't needed like at all, bro. He may be the most saucy, the strongest, the most aura out of any anime character that I've ever seen, bro. Over Gojo, over Jinwoo. It is actually crazy, bro. I remember when I first started this show, it was when there was only like 5 to 6 episodes out at this point. I always check AniList to see the most popular characters. I was like, okay, my guy Lin Ling, let's see how many favorites he got. He had a good bit, and I was like, okay, that's cool, I expected that. But then I checked X's favorites, and I was like, dog, how can he possibly be that high without a single episode? It's only been 3 episodes, you don't see him in the opening. I'm sorry, I was foolish. I will do any punishment that you ask. This is so cold, bro. You may ask, how is he the strongest in any show that you've watched? You must not have seen that many shows. Look, bro, I've seen shows such as Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Bleach, JJK. I know DBZ and Naruto is way above JJK when it comes to power, but you know what, maybe me saying he's the strongest ever is a stretch. You know what, let's say in recent anime memory of mine that he's the strongest. But it is possible. I'm not saying that it's impossible for him to be. I'm not saying it's impossible for him to be stronger than Dragon Ball characters. It's possible because we've only scratched the surface of his abilities for sure. But this looks genuinely unbeatable, bro. I think he is even stronger than Luffy. Because let me cook for you real quick. Luffy is from my favorite series of all time, and I love Gear 5. It's an amazing transformation, but I still think that Luffy is somewhat limited by this. Like, I have seen Luffy get somewhat handled in Gear 5. I don't think anyone can mess with X ever. I'm comparing this to Gear 5 because I haven't seen a series where the powers are this similar. He can do whatever he wants. He can warp reality. He can change the world to 2D or 3D at a moment's notice. That's what's really similar to Gear 5, how he can just switch like how everybody's viewed the budget. He can switch the budget, bro. He can switch that. While X, although Luffy can do that, Luffy can make things appear out of midair just like X can. But X also can shift reality. He can go to different time spaces. I don't think Luffy can do that. For all of episode 24, he was just straight ore farming. Like I said, he brings things to life. We saw a car on a billboard, bro, and he got that out of the billboard and brought it to life. He was driving the car. Does that mean he can bring anything to life? If he sees a poster of Godzilla, will Godzilla come to life, bro? And he is still a good guy at the end of the day. We saw it in the very few times that we have seen him in the episodes that he's a good dude. When Cyan was playing the guitar after running away from home, he was the first to give her money. When Nice was about to be taken out by Dragon Boy, he swooped in and saved him, although he knows that Nice has done some heinous things. He is not signed to any organization, so apparently this makes him all the more dangerous. He cannot be controlled whatsoever. So they sent everyone, and when I say everyone, I mean everyone after him, and he didn't even take a single one of them seriously, bro. Way earlier, Queen, the number 2 hero, mind you, got beat by him in less than a second. The girl who did this. If he gets beat in the show, that is cap, unless he has to give himself up or something. But yeah, man, To Be Hero X, it's anime of the year. It's one of my favorite new gens. I'm gonna have to give it some time because I do have recency bias, like a lot of the times. But X, bro, he may be the coolest character ever. Like, he's just awesome, bro. His theme, his clothes, his ability, everything about him is super cool, bro. 1 out of 10, To Be Hero X, 9.5. First season, 9.5. I'm just scared about next season because I have no idea when it'll drop. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you when I see you.